Welcome back to Celebrity Radio. It's Alex Belfield talking to some of my favourite people and some new comedians who are doing very well for themselves. He's the new presenter of Newsjack on BBC Radio 4. He's appeared on Virtually Famous and also with Russell Howard as well on Stand Up Central, which is a great series. And he joins us on the phone now. Nish Kumar, how are you doing?
Very good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm all right, mate. Really good to talk to you. And I'm fascinated by your style because you make it look so easy and it's almost like you're unaffected by being on stage. That's not easy to do, is it?
No, I think you just have to have a really enormous ego and just really feel like, yeah, these people should be listening to me.
I've got the enormous ego, but I've also got a fear of not being liked. And that's a problem with comedy, isn't it? That they will start throwing cabbages at you.
Yeah, I think you've got, after a while, you just develop a thick skin to people not liking what you do. And you just start to not care less. Care less is the wrong. You still care that people don't like it, but you're better at hiding it. That's all.
So you have to sort of have a level of narcissism when you know you're funny, even if they don't think you are.
Yeah, you've got to have a bit of confidence. It's got to be earned, though. I think there's nothing worse than watching, regardless of what field you're in. There's nothing worse than watching unearned confidence.
You're a big hit at the Edinburgh Festival in 2012, and you're back this year. Give us the name of your show. I love it.
It's called Long Word, blah, 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 I'm so clever, at the Pleasance Courtyard, 7:50 every day.
I was looking on your website yesterday. When I saw that title, I just loved it. I mean, it's going to struggle to fit on a small poster, but I get what you're saying. There is an element of that with comedians, isn't there? That we've got to invest in anything you want to talk about, even if we're not interested.
Yeah, completely, yeah. I mean, I just think that it just made me laugh. Like, the idea of calling a show that just really made me laugh. And we've managed to design a poster that fits it all on there. So, you know, I'm pleased with that.
I think you need a new agent. I mean, we're talking this morning at 11 a.m. This is sort of like, 4 in the morning for you, isn't it? 11 a.m. Good Lord.
Yeah, no, well, we're not fully on Edinburgh time yet. Once the festival actually starts, it will be, you move into a different time zone. It's like everything is 2 hours later. It's like being Edinburgh suddenly is on the same time zone as continental Europe. Like it's GMT plus 2. We've not actually started yet. Tomorrow's the first day of the whole thing. So I've still got sort of bits and bobs that I need to take care of today. So yeah, no, I'm up. Is
the best thing to be around other comedians who are very good? Because I've always found in life there's nothing more inspiring than being around greatness. Is that also a thrill?
Yeah, completely. That's one of the biggest. You know, it's quite an isolating job, 11 months of the year, because we're all doing gigs all over the country. But you know, when you get together with people in Edinburgh, it's great. It's fun largely because they're all your professional friends, and you know, it's great to just hang out with your mates because we don't get to see each other that often over the course of the year, as I say. But it's also great to be around people who are really great at what they do, because it forces you to feel like, well, if they're doing this, I've got to try and up my game now.
Are you a big drinker? It seems to me that after the shows, because they run pretty late, later than the West End or anything like that, they then go to the bars, and then I know there's the 4 a.m. Big breakfast, isn't there? And then the 6 a.m. clubs. I mean, it's ridiculous, the schedule that some of them keep.
Oh, Edinburgh's 24 hours. You know, it's kind of, if you want to get a beer at 6 in the morning, you are free to do that. That is one of the joys and terrors of this city, of this festival. You know, I'm not like, I can't really, I think I used to enjoy that side of it a bit more when there was less pressure on me, because now, you know, when I used to do sketch shows when I was at university, if I was a bit underpowered, shall we say, was a euphemism for spectacularly hungover, at least there were, you know, 4 or 5 other people on stage. But with this, if I'm, you know, anything below my best, it's just me for an hour. There's no one's going to come and salvage the thing. So it's definitely taken it at a slower pace than I used to.
Why did you decide on this career? I mean, you've already said that, you know, life as a touring comedian, as a club comedian, is really difficult. I mean, you can be doing 2 or 3 shows a night, you're going from city to city, and you're not going to be paid £1 million at this stage. Is it the hope that one day you'll be Peter Kay and sort of doing arenas around the world?
I mean, whatever happens, I enjoy doing stand-up. I just like it. I think it's a lot more fun than having a proper job. So yeah, no, I just like doing it. I just like doing stand-up.
Is it also the fact that it's the most live medium of any other bit of show business, even newspapers? You know, when they write something at 10 o'clock today, it won't get in until midday tomorrow. If it's the news, it's hours later. You can think of something 2 minutes before and get it on stage within seconds, can't you?
And also you don't have to, no one has to okay your stand-up apart from the audience. It's just you sort of versus the crowd. Were
you yawning then? Am I boring you?
No, I was yawning because I've been up for a couple of hours, and frankly, I'm not used to this amount of an early start.
I do have this effect on guests. Within sort of 2 or 3 minutes, they just sort of drift off. I don't know what that is about my style.
Don't do yourself down, mate. I'm 100% engaged.
You're doing pretty well in radio. I mean, BBC Radio 4 is the place to do it. 4 Extra is the home of some great comedy. And Newsjack was sort of a step forward in those new comedy shows. It was different, wasn't it, intentionally?
Yeah, it was. It's sort of based on an older programme called Weekending, which used to be on Radio 4 in the 80s through into the 90s. And the whole point of it is it's a way for the BBC to find new writers. So anyone can submit sketches to Newsjack, that's the kind of exciting thing. It's a way for them to find new talent, and then we sort of make a show out of their submissions every week, plus a little bit of writing that we do on sort of at the top of it. But yeah, it's a really fun, exciting, and interesting show to be part of. I'm looking forward. We start up again on September the 8th, and I'm excited. It's the first time in my life I've been excited to go back to work.
Wow, well, that's a compliment in itself. I mean, there's something so brilliant about radio and comedy. It does work as well as a club if it's done right.
Yeah, completely. It forces you to focus on your writing. It is really a writer's medium, because you can't fool a radio audience with performance tricks. The writing just has to be 100% there. Otherwise it's not going to fly.
Does getting on a show like Stand Up Central with Russell really help your career? I mean, that was big exposure. It's got a huge audience and it's a respected show. Does that push you to another level? I guess you've got to be hoping for shows like that.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, it's great to do, and it's a fun experience to kind of to do those shows, and you sort of hope. I mean, I think from my perspective, I've just got to focus on getting better every year and not worry about that. I have an agent, and it's their job to sort of worry about those kind of things, and I just want to keep my head in on the comedy and trying to get better every year, and that's really all I can concentrate on, I think.
I love your style, as I say. It's so relaxed. I wonder whether you'd enjoy the panel shows, because they're incredibly competitive and you've sort of got to have a demonstrative personality to break through, haven't you? Would you like to do those shows, or are they sort of too intimidating for your comedy? Because you do come across as a nice guy, and a lot of those guys are just damn right offensive.
Well, I mean, the ones that I've done have been fun, and I think that you don't have to necessarily play into. You can go on and do your own thing. I think that's the most interesting people on those panel shows. Very often people who just come in and don't just immediately fall into the rhythms of that show and try and do something different with it. So like someone like Milton Jones on Mock the Week, like there is a way to play those games without maybe getting involved in the sort of back and forth that go on with them. But I think that sometimes those shows have a worse reputation than their reality, and I think sometimes they're actually a lot more fun than.
So for you, are you match fit right now? I mean, I know footballers do pre-season training, don't they? Has your whole year been leading up to this in terms of getting the show right, or do you have to physically stop eating protein and eat more carbs or things like that, or do you just get on with it?
No, it's just about you've got to have done your comedy prep. So yeah, I've been previewing the show, and hopefully it's in a good condition. I guess we'll find out tomorrow night. Yeah,
let me know how it goes. I can't wait to see more of you. Nish Kumar is one of the newest comedians who's got a unique style. You can hear him back on Newsjack on BBC Radio 4 Extra and find him up there in Edinburgh for the whole month of August. Give us your website so people can find you.
nishkumar.co.uk.
It's easy to remember. Nish Kumar, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, mate.